Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. I hope all of you are doing well. I ended my last video with a question whether farewell encounters are always harmless. I was supposed to post a video this week explaining how things can go really wrong sometimes. But I had to make a few changes in the episode lineup because we received a few questions regarding a previous episode. Whether my friend's roommate passed away after her washroom visit, because the autopsy report can be inaccurate sometimes. Now, today I'm going to share with you two similar incidents, to one of which I was a witness myself. This incident I know about from my mom because I was not born at that time. My mom's father, my grandfather, became really unwell, and my mom's sisters, who were training to be nurses at that time, got him hospitalized in the same hospital where they were working. As days passed by, his condition got really worse. When he passed away, my mom's sister called her to give her the sad news. My mom was deeply saddened by this. She was still trying to figure out how to convey this message to her mother, my grandmother. This is when my grandmother came out of the room crying, looking terrible. My mom asked her what happened, so my grandmother said he passed away a few minutes ago. My mother didn't know how her mom knew about this. So my grandmother explained, saying she had a visit from him. He came to tell her that he had to leave, and he told her to take care of the whole family. My grandmother could even describe what he was wearing, like the color of his clothes, etc. It was exactly the same thing that he was wearing when he passed away at the hospital. Those days, hospitals did not have medical gowns. After many years, when my grandmother was over 80, she had an epileptic attack and she lost the ability to move her right arm and leg. My mom took great care of her day and night. My grandmother was not very fond of my mom then, but when this happened, she grew very fond of my mother. There were days when my grandmother used to be in tears, seeing how much my mother cared for her and how hard she worked to get her back to normal. Unfortunately, things never went back to normal, and my grandmother passed away. So my mom's sibling, they all flew in with their families. We finished all the rituals and my grandmother was cremated. That night, there was an offering kept for the departed. It was a glass of water and a bowl of food. And there were two sticks kept on the glass and the bowl crisscross. I asked my mother why it is done so, and she said, if the sticks move, then we know that the offer has been accepted. The next morning, the sticks had moved. However, a few days went by and all the relatives who had come down for the final rites, they all went back. So in our house, it was just me, my mom and my younger sister because my dad was working abroad then, so he had to return too. That night, I was up late talking to a friend of mine over the phone. I was sleeping alone in that room. My mom and my sister, they were sleeping in a different room. It was quite late that night. I could hear the sound of dry leaves getting crushed. It was as if somebody was walking outside the window. We used to always keep the windows closed after we had Mr. Tony's episode. I anyway ignored the sound and I continued talking. After a few minutes, I could hear the television in my grandmother's room switch on. I got up and I went to check. I switched on the lights in the hallway, which led to her room. I went and I saw that the television was actually on and there was no one. My mom and my sister were still asleep. You see, most people don't realize how scary it is to be in that situation in real life. It doesn't matter how many paranormal encounters you've had. In my mind, I'm just thinking if my grandmother is in that room, either on the bed or sitting on the chair watching TV, and I can't see her. I can't see anyone. Knowing that my friend was still on the phone, which gave me a bit of courage, I switched off the TV and I darted back to my room. I was shaken, so I carried on talking to my friend for some more time and I said good night. Of course, I couldn't go to sleep. I was just sitting there and I heard my sister screaming, calling me to go to her room quickly. I ran and I saw my sister was sitting there, terrified. My mom was also sitting up but with her eyes closed. I asked my mother what happened, and she spoke in my grandmother's voice. She said she misses us a lot and she doesn't want to leave us. I was shaken to the bones by then. I didn't know what to do. My sister was terrified too. And my mother just continued crying, saying she doesn't want to leave us. Exactly in my grandmother's voice. I stood there for some time and then I thought we need help, surely. So I called my neighbor. They were like family to us. So that lady came like an angel at midnight to help us out. She came and she saw the situation and she told us to wait outside. So before my sister got out of the bed, my mom pulled her close, gave her a big hug, and she said again, I miss you, I don't want to go, don't leave me. However, me and my sister, we stepped out and we were out for quite some time. We are so grateful to our neighbor who came to help us at midnight. She sat with my mom for a very long time, talking to my grandmother, helping her move on to the other side. We can't thank her enough, and this is something that we'll never forget. We didn't have any more visits from our grandmother after that. We hope that she is happy on the other side and continues to be. So many people get visits from their loved ones from the other side. In my next episode, I'd like to share how we got a visit from someone we knew and how it got a bit complicated and difficult to handle. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button. Thank you so much again. Have a great day. Bye.